You are listening to Zen and the Art of Triathlon.
Well, hey there, all you triathlon studs and studettes. This is Coach Brett with another great episode of Zen and the Art of Triathlon, the podcast where we go long on how to use Zen and endurance to find a better you. All right, today's episode is really cool. We have advice on how to race a mountain bike by listeners have chimed in. How to race on a mountain bike course, either during a triathlon or during a mountain bike race. And also on how this phenomenon of trying to blame your chronotype for what time you get up in the morning is bad science. I go into depth on that with lots of explanations and examples on how not to fall for that trap and how, at the end, how to change yourself. Easy way to do it so you can get up at whatever time you want. All right, there's that, plus a whole bunch of other stuff. But let's go ahead and get started with the triathlon news. Here we go. All right, what seems to be the biggest news in the triathlon world is Gwen Jorgensen is pregnant. And besides everybody being, yay, cool, a whole lot of her competition is like, phew, oh my God, because she is so dominant in Olympic distance triathlon. And it's not going to take her out for long. I have this theory. A lot of people have this theory that when women have a baby, they end up going to a whole nother level of tough and resistance. They come back and are even more dominant than they were before. A lot of times, it's pretty interesting because having a baby is so tough and it toughens them up for long course. And Gwen hadn't even started doing long course yet. So there's all that. And let's see. The female triathlon news also goes to Jody Swallow, who looks like she just won another race, continuing to win everything she enters. And there's that. And let's see, Zwift is the online cycling video game where you hook up your bike to your computer and then you can ride along a predetermined course, but with thousands of other people riding all at the same time. It is super cool. Zwift, Z-W-I-F-T. Well, they've added a volcano to their virtual reality training course. Well, it's not entirely virtual reality, but it is super cool. I really, really like it. It's mostly a flat course. So if you're like me and you're trying to overcome an injury in your feet, you won't pedal too hard, and because it's flat. And what I've noticed is I actually have to stay off Zwift if I'm trying to recover from an injury in my feet or my legs, because Zwift is so engaging. Somebody passes you and you're like, I'm going to pass them back, or you're going uphill and it slows you down as you go uphill. You're like, come on. So I actually have to stay off that thing because I'll end up biking too hard. But the Zwift level volcano area is actually pretty flat. And now that's enough. It's enough ground that you cover where it takes, if you do the volcano and then ride around and then go back to the volcano, right around on the other flat area that goes underwater, which is super cool, then you end up, it takes about half an hour. And so twice of that is an hour, and that's a really good workout. All right. And another one that is really interesting is this Utah representative. I don't know if he's a senator or a representative, has introduced a bill. Well, there's one. Yeah, the one guy from Utah has introduced a bill to try to sell our public lands, which is just insane. It's a right that we have to all this public lands that you can go hike and bike and run on and do all this stuff. You can camp anywhere. You can sit there and look up at the stars. It's ours. It's the citizenry, and they're trying to sell it off. What they are doing is saying it has no value, and then because it has no value, we can give it or sell it to private companies like Exxon and such for drilling. And no, we need to be investing our time and money and our resources into alternative fuels, solar, wind, and all that, and not destroying our land with breaking it up into selling it off to corporations. Because I don't want to go mountain biking and have the whole thing built covered in oil, and then also placards and billboards for Coca-Cola all over it. That would really suck. So let's not do that. Okay, fight that where you can. But then also, along with that, was a bill proposed in Montana about not allowing cyclists to ride on rural roads. Unless there's a bike lane or a sidewalk, which is stupid. You can't ride a bike at any speed any decent speed on a sidewalk. Then you can't bike on that road. And I saw that, retweeted it, that this is insane. And then this one guy replied back, well, I mean, honestly, to be honest, it's really dangerous riding on rural roads with high speeds and trucks. And so, but then the logic here is well, then cyclists are to blame. No, cyclists are not to blame for that. It's the building of the road and the width of the road that's to blame. And it's a federally protected right, I guess. It's federally protected for you to be able to bike on roads. And if you use that logic, oh, well, we should ban that in Montana, right? Well, you should ban that in Texas and Florida and Alabama and New York State and California and Kansas. Like, it just goes on, because all the roads that are rural are no shoulder, high speed. You ban one, and then it applies to everywhere. And then now you have a nation of people that can't ride their bikes anywhere, and you've locked yourself down. In this day and age, we need to be working on giving people more rights, because we have more resources and better science and everything. Instead of taking things away, we need to be giving people more, and it's just insane. So that's the other thing. Keep an eye on that. This law and this bill in Montana about banning bikes from rural roads. Man, what a world. Okay. We've got that. That's most of the news out there. So let's go ahead and hop on over to, let's see, do we want to do mountain biking, or do we want to talk about, oh, I got a good one. Let's talk about this whole thing about chronotypes, and I'm going to go on my rant. All right, what we want to do now is talk a little bit about how I don't want you to believe the hype. Don't believe the hype about chronotypes. And it sounds good, but it's actually bad science. I'm not saying it's entirely wrong, but it's kind of like pseudoscience, and it probably doesn't apply to you. And we're going to talk about it, and I'm going to point out how this kind of thing happens every once in a while. So don't fall victim to it and then think that you can't change yourself because you're a certain way. This podcast is about hope and change and what we can do and not what we can't, and not giving up because we think we're one thing when we actually can be many, many things. All right, so too many times I've seen people change from being late risers to early risers suddenly, and that's what this chronotype thing is about. It's about taking a test and then finding out what kind of chronotype, quote unquote, you are, and then trying to base your life around that. And what I'm saying is the test may define how you are right now, but that does not mean that that is how you are forever. It's kind of like if you're pre-diabetic, right? Oh, you need insulin. No, maybe you don't. Maybe you could just change your diet and you could change your lifestyle and then you could change your life. So trying to say that you're one thing when this is actually easily changeable will cut you off at your knees about your potential in life. So again, you go and take a test and find out if you're some kind of animal name, like a bear, dolphin, wolf, or lion. And this is step one of bad science. It's a psychological trick, right? We name ourselves something just like and it excuses behavior because now you're something you're not yourself. You can point at something else, and it's exactly like when somebody goes, "Well, I'm a Leo, and therefore, I cause trouble everywhere I go," or whatever Leos do. And no, you're excusing bad behavior by pointing towards an astrology sign, and it's not actually you. Okay, now that's the first thing. That's the early indicator sign. There's something up here. And then what happens is it becomes an excuse for not trying and then giving up. People do this all the time. If you give something a name, then it's not you, it's the other thing, and it becomes an excuse. It's I'm not fat, I'm big boned. And then you can go online and see an x-ray of a fat person and see their bones are just the same as exactly everybody else. Girls saying they're just not good at math, or parents not pressuring girls saying, well, they're girls, they're just not supposed to be good at math. The fact is that the very first computers was actually a job description that 99% of the time was held by women, and they calculated stuff at wartime, formulas and equations and lots of heavy duty math. And a lot of times the very first programmers were women. The programmer that did all the calculations to send people to the moon was a woman, right? Girls are awesome at math. So it's an excuse to say that, just because of something, you're not good at something else. We go back to your religion is due to you say, well, I'm a Christian and so I do this, or I'm a Buddhist, so I do this, or I'm a Muslim, so I do this. Think about this. If you were not born and raised where you were, you would be something else. There's a reason that I don't know how many it is, so many billion Chinese are Buddhist, or so many billion people are Hindu out of India, and then so is the very next generation. It's because their parents and their village and their town tell them that they are, as they're born and raised. So you can change your religion at any time. So why does it have traction? It's because people have told you that you're something. When I went to Spain, and in the afternoon, I was not shocked, but I was like, wow, this is really a thing, where 2 o'clock in the afternoon or something like that, everything shut down for an hour, right? That is a cultural thing. And you start believing that you need to do that. And I'm not totally opposed to that. I love it. But anyway, Thailand, I was listening to a podcast recently, and in Thailand, they were talking about, it was a productivity podcast, and the guy said, they moved to Thailand and did live there for a while, because you're working off of a computer, so you've got you can live anywhere you want. So why not live in Thailand? It's super cheap there, right? He said the culture there was so slow, and which is good for vacation, is so slow and productive. And I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm just saying that's what it is. That for the business they were in, it was bad business, and they found themselves being convinced, being pushed along to not be like that. And the interesting thing about Thailand, this is a cool geography, cultural geography kind of thing, is they have a culture there of the king will take care of us. They love their king. The king recently passed away. It was like very traumatic to everybody, because they have a culture that you don't need to try too hard, because the king will provide for us in a way, right? So, and that's an entire country, and that's not just Thailand. I'm sure that's lots of places. So you need to see that you can easily be convinced to not work, or to work, or to happiness and accomplishing things can be based outside of you, kind of by accident, unless you're mindful and pay attention to what's going on. And also that you are a product of your environment and your goals. When I wanted to quit smoking, this is back in college, I tried so many times to quit smoking, and then finally I changed my environment. I quit hanging out with people that smoke. That was the hardest thing. And then all of a sudden it was really easy to quit smoking, right? But also, you need to listen to this. This is the language we're talking about. I am not a smoker. I am a person that smokes, right? Now you're taking ownership. I love quoting Jocko Willink on here a lot, because this dude is just badass, and it's extreme ownership. If you are a smoker, you are not a smoker in a way, because now you're saying that you're something that you can't control. You are a person that decides every single time to light up and put a cigarette in your mouth. You are a person that smokes. You cannot be a smoker if you decide to. And back to this chronotype, they got these different like wolves and lions and donkeys and owls or something, but you need to be saying, I am not a wolf or whatever. I'm a person that gets up because I've been getting up. And that's a key right there, that whatever you've been doing creates traction, and your body clock starts noticing it, and it starts working, and it's independent of what some test shows, because you can change. And I've changed, and I know lots of people that have changed. Okay, so the number one thing to change what time you get up, what time that you're productive throughout the day, is goals. Goals are what wake you up in the morning. Goals are what energize you, or goals are what make you work at a certain time, the best time to get that goal done. If you don't have goals, there is no reason to be getting up at a certain time or be energetic at a certain time. If your goal is to party at night, well, that's what time you should get up at, or your goal is to be a stand-up comedian. Well, guess what? You should probably go to bed at 3 a.m., sleep through the morning, and then get up at 3 p.m., I guess. And then, I worked a night shift for a while. My goal was to keep my night shift job. Well, then I went to bed at whatever, and I got up at whatever. And that was a long time ago. But the goals are what give you the energy, right? And now no goals are absolutely fine. If that's what's going on in your life right now. I was just on family vacation. The goal was no goals. And my body clock was used to me getting up at 4:30 in the morning. So I briefly woke up at 4:30 in the morning and kind of looked around, and I go, because my body was used to me getting up at 4:30. I went, I'll go back to sleep. And boom, right back to sleep, and slept until like 7, 8, something like that, and then got up then. And oh wait, my dogs are now deciding to bark at everything. Okay, we're going to have to deal with a little bit of dog barking here for a second, but I'm sure we can handle it, because my goal is actually to record this, and we're going to get it done. Now, my nephew was having trouble in high school and had trouble graduating, but he did and everything, but decided to put off going to college and just join the Army. Now, before he joined the Army, he really had there's either goals that you come up with, or another way is society puts goals on you, right? Somebody external goes, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, right? If you say, hey, will you go to swim team practice? Or, hey, will you be on the try out for the basketball team? 99% of the time, a teenager is going to go, yeah, no, like that. I'm already doing enough, right? So you got to, hey, will you become an Eagle Scout? No, I don't really want to, right? Because video games and hanging out at home is way more fun. So as a parent, you got to force them to do some stuff, see what they're good at, and then let them enjoy it, and then they want to do it, right? So there's that kind of situation where my nephew was really not doing anything because he wasn't getting the leadership and discipline at home to make him do it. So he ended up no options once he graduated from high school. Proud of him for graduating from high school, but he ended up having to join the Army, was his choice. And he went from getting up, I kid you not, he went from getting up at like noon, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon to, whatever time they get up every day at boot camp. And I promise you, the first couple days at boot camp sucked, right? But then he did his basic training, which is like 10 weeks or something. And then he came home for Christmas. And this is just recently. Just the other day, he came home for Christmas. And then I was up and doing something around 6 a.m. or 5:30 a.m. And he was staying at a grandparents' house. So we were all together. And he was up and walking around, which I've never seen in my entire life with this kid. And I was like, hey, what are you doing? And he's like, can't sleep. I feel like I should be doing something. Right? Because at boot camp, they made them get up at 5:30, I doubt 6, probably 5, 5:30 every morning and do something. You have like PTs, what they call it, physical training. And I said, hey, you want to run down? It was 20 degrees outside. And I said, hey, you want to run down to the end of the street and do some push-ups and run back? And he goes, yeah. And I said, all right, let's go do it. And we did it in shorts, even though it was 20 degrees, no shirt and in shorts, just to be crazy, right? And my point is this change he was forced. So there's one way you can be forced by external environment, parents, military, something that you've signed up for or gotten yourself into. Or a lot of us go, okay, I'm going to sign up for an Ironman or, a 50-mile trail run. And then you do your first one and then you realized, holy crap, I thought I would do way better than that. And then you do your second one and you decide, hey, I need to get up earlier to get this stuff done or to get it in, when you realize it takes so many hours of training per week, but you have a goal, right? So now you're motivated and you're inspired. And so you change what time you get stuff done to get your goal done. And again, it could be, it could be a night thing and you want to be a stand-up comedian or you want to be a successful rock band. So you need to stay up late. The time of day doesn't matter. I am not here to say that everybody needs to get up at 4:30 a.m. What I'm here to say is believing that your time to get up and be productive is dictated somewhere in your genetic code is wrong, and it's harmful, and it can sabotage the things that you want to get done in life, even just for a short time, okay? Now, the other thing is, I can tell you the trick if you want to get up early to get stuff done. If you realize, okay, the only time I'm going to get stuff done is earlier in the day, then I can tell you how to do it. I should mention there are reasons why in this personality test, people that get up early and get a whole lot done earlier, in this personality or chronotype test, they call it a lion. And so it's real alpha, right? That's real in charge and dominant. And they say that most CEOs are alphas. Most people that get stuff done are alphas. That is not exactly in my tweet that Jocko liked and confirmed, the Navy SEAL commander guy, because he always gets up at 4:30 and posts a picture of his watch, is getting up early turns you into a person that gets a lot of stuff done, depending on your environment, depending on whatever you're doing in life. And you can become somebody you can become a lion, alpha, super mega wolf, whatever, by getting up earlier because what that does is it allows you to get stuff done because you're there first, right? So you don't become, you're not a lion first and your personality, you're not successful first and then start getting up early. Actually, you can get up early and then you'll start noticing that your life becomes super successful. But again, it depends on what career path, you get up at the appropriate time and then you'll notice that your goals start happening and you become a more successful, happier person. Okay, so this goes right along with, let's say a restaurant opens at 6 p.m. or 5 p.m. and you don't have much time that evening, you want to get some extra stuff done. Do you go to the restaurant at 7:30 or 8 and then wait half an hour to 45 minutes to even an hour in the lobby to get seated because that's when the crowd comes? Or do you go a little bit earlier and then now let's say you go at 8 o'clock, you finally get seated at 8, they're out of this and they're out of that, and other people have to leave because something came up, right? So the microcosm of this is, no, if you got there earlier, all the food's in stock. You get to sit wherever you want. You don't have to sit next to the smokers or in the loud area. You can pick and choose. You don't get put next to the freaking bathroom on your first date with somebody and it smells like crap and the door keeps slamming and open and close and open and close and silverware keeps dropping and somebody's pours a pitcher of water on the floor because you're right next to the service area, right next to the bathroom, next to the kitchen. No, if you get there early, you get to choose like so many more things, and it makes your life like super easier and more productive. So if you get up early, let's use that example. If you get up early, then you get more stuff done earlier without conflicts, right? If you try to work out in the evening, stuff comes up. Oh, you got to go to the grocery store. Oh, I didn't do this. Oh, can you help me go do that? Hey, there's a phone call, your parents call, and blah, blah. Oh, you got to go pick up somebody, whatever, right? All these things start piling up. If you get your workout done early, then you get in a good quality workout and without all these things, and then it's consistency, right? So then all of a sudden, people go, man, this guy gets stuff done. This girl gets stuff done. Maybe he or she ought to be in charge of the department because they're always getting stuff done when they say they will. And it's like, yeah, because if you say meetings, for example, if you want something to get done, you have the meeting early in the morning, right? You have it in the morning and not in the afternoon, because by the afternoon comes up, there's all these crises at work and conflicts and systems are breaking, and you need to go. People can't make it because they've got other things that have happened, right? So instead, you do it in the morning, and you're like, well, Brett, you're right. Okay, if I got up in the morning and then I would get more stuff done without more conflicts, but I have trouble getting stuff done I have trouble getting up. Okay, now we're at that point. Listen, that is totally normal. Changing what time you get up, either moving it early or moving it later, is slightly difficult, right? But you can make it way easier by one simple step. It's what you do the day before. All right, so let's say I want to get up. I'm getting up at 7 and I want to get up at 6, right? So what I say, okay, that's going to be, let's say today's Tuesday. So I say, okay, what I'm going to do is today I am going to do Tuesday, I'm going to do extra activities to make me tired, right? That's not hard to do. Can you make yourself tired by doing extra stuff? Yes. And do it earlier in the day, wear yourself out, go for an extra workout, go for an extra run, just do something to make yourself tired. Then what'll happen is you'll want to go to bed earlier than you usually do because you're a little bit more tired than you usually are, right? That's not hard to do. I promise you, it's super easy to do. Now, the other thing is, the reason people stay up late is they're watching crap on TV. Turn off the TV, go in a bedroom, completely turn off the TV, turn off everything, and lay there with either calm music or a talking podcast that's just kind of like ZenTri, right? That they're just talking and about nothing, and then you fall asleep just a little bit earlier. And you set your alarm for a little bit earlier than when you usually do, right? So you usually set it for 7, is that what we said? And then now you want to get up at 6, set it for 6:30, right? Now, what you'll notice is because you went to bed earlier, that getting up a little bit earlier is not that hard. You get up at 6:30, you're kind of like, oh, it's a little bit earlier, right? Now, what happens is, throughout the day, you're doing stuff, but because you got up a little bit earlier, guess what you're going to want to do? You're going to want to go to bed a little bit earlier because you're tired because you got up earlier. So you go to bed a little bit earlier, and you can set your alarm to 6:15. And then when your alarm goes off at 6:15 the next morning, because you went to bed a little bit earlier, then you can get up a little bit earlier. And then you repeat this until you're starting to get up at whatever time that you want. Now, what happens is after you get set with your time and start getting up at a certain time, I don't know how many times it takes, 3-4 times or something like that. Your body actually has an internal clock, and it can sense. You ever like say, oh man, I got to get up at like 3 a.m. to catch a flight this morning. You ever notice that sometimes your body wakes up right at 3 a.m.? because you actually do have an internal clock. Your body, your brain does know what time it is. And if it's important enough, it'll wake you up kind of around that time because it's important and it knows. It can sense these things. So you can, once you get up enough times at a certain time, and it's repeated, your body gets used to getting up at that time. And no matter how much sleep you get or don't get, you're going to go, oh, you're going to wake up at that time. And it's really, really cool. And sometimes you don't even need to set an alarm anymore because it's so reliable. And it's not difficult at that point anymore. So the flawed logic is to say, okay, I'm going to get up, is to do what you always do and go to bed at the same time that you always go to bed, and then try to get up earlier the next day. That's territory for failure right there, because now you're struggling against not getting enough sleep. So again, what you do is you go to bed earlier the night before, then you get more sleep than you're used to getting, and then it's easier to get up. Don't do it the wrong way and say, I'm just going to start getting up at 4:30 in the morning, but I'm going to go to bed at midnight. No, you're going to be miserable and absolutely sucks. I get up 4:30 every morning. I go to bed around 9:30 or 10. It seems like. But guess what? It's easy to go to bed at 9:30 or 10 because I got up at 4:30 in the morning. A few years ago, I used to get up at 6 or 7 or whatever. And then when I decided that my goals were different, I started getting up. I kept getting up earlier and earlier and earlier until I finally found the time that actually worked for me. So I changed. I told you about my nephew that changed. People change all the time. So again, we don't want you to be blaming your body type. Don't do it. Don't become I'm big boned. I'm a I'm a dolphin, I'm a grasshopper or whatever all these things are, because now you're falling back on blaming something else over something that you can totally do yourself. You have the power to actually change this. Don't fall victim to it, and be your own source for your own success. All right, that's the end of my rant. Let's go on with the rest of the show. All right, let's take a break and mention Amrita bars. I just had one. Where is it? Where's the wrapper? It was the chocolate maca attack. Let's see, let me go get it right here. Because they have regular energy bars, and then they have their recovery energy bars. Here it is. Oh, Amrita, plant-based nutrition, chocolate maca, 15 grams of protein in one bar. How about that? I have the high protein ones after I swim. Oh man, it's such good stuff. They have all different kinds of flavors. They are I wouldn't say non-allergenic, because that's not the right wording. Hypoallergenic? There's no nuts. They use seeds instead for the protein. So if you have a nut allergy, there's no worries there. They are vegan friendly and no animal products used inside. Gluten-free, dairy-free, peanut-free, soy-free, long time sponsor of the show. Kai was in a soccer game today, drinking out of an Amrita water bottle. Speaking of the other stuff they make, they have all kinds of cool gear, and he scored 2 goals. Now, if you eat Amrita bars, will you score 2 goals in life? Probably. You never know. Got to find out, and you can find out by going to amritahealthfoods.com and using discount code ZEN2016. That's discount code ZEN2016. It's actually a really cool fuel for long rides because it's super easy to digest. And also, here's another thing, they don't freeze. A lot of bars, the competition, uses stuff that will actually freeze when it gets cold. As we head into winter, Amrita bars stay soft. You can open one up and plow through it nice and chewy, and they're date-based. It's really cool. The way I eat Amrita bars when I'm biking along is I open one up, or I'll maybe pre-open one before I get going on the bike. But anyway, I take a bite out of it, like maybe a quarter or a third of the bar in one bite, and then I fold the end of the wrapper back over the rest of the bar, and then I put it on my quad. I stuff it up the front of my bike shorts from the knee side, kind of push it up in there, and it stays flat with my quad right here. Right there. And then 20 minutes later, 30 minutes later, I just grab it, pull it back out, push the bar forward in the wrapper, boom, another bite, and it keeps your stomach feeling so good, super smooth, super nice. There's cardamom in it, which actually soothes the stomach. So, all right, that's it for Amrita Bars. Thank you so much for being a sponsor. Show them some love. Again, discount code 2016, Zen2016 at amritahealthfoods.com. And also they have, like I said, a big store with all kinds of cool gear, shirts, jerseys, water bottles, fun stuff like that. Go check them out. All right, back to the episode. All right, I'm here with the amazing Kai Blankner, mountain biker. How's it going?
Good.
Yes, we can go. Kai just finished a huge rant after he finished mountain bike practice about how he was going around a trail, and then he thought he was going the right way, and then some guys followed him, and then they ended up almost running head on into somebody else. You can hear the off-road as we're leaving the mountain bike ranch. Yeah. So he did hour and 45 minutes about of practice, and I went off and rode on my own and met back with them. So how was practice, Kai? Tell us about it.
Good.
Okay. That's not going to do for a podcast interview.
It was pretty good. We did 3 sessions of stuff like obstacles and hill climbing.
Yeah.
And that turning.
So tell us about it. It's how many kids on the team do you think, and how do you fall in there?
15. No, more than 15, at least 20.
Right.
Or more. And
when's your first race?
I'm not very sure about that.
But this is a racing team, though, right? You're going to be racing?
Yes. My first race was today against everyone else.
Yeah. How'd you do?
Good.
Okay. This is a very lackluster interview. Why is that?
I do not know.
Is it because you're tired?
Okay. Yes, I'm very tired. It is tiring.
Should I interview you maybe later after you've had some?
Yes, you should.
There was a train. What about counting laps during my mile swim yesterday? How was that?
That was pretty cool. Yeah.
What made it exciting or fun?
See you doing races like that and me being part of it.
Yeah. I agree. That can be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So you were describe how you count laps and show me how you count laps and stuff like that. How does that happen?
So how we did it was going by odd numbers. So when they would start on the block, you'd go down and that would be 1. You'd put 1 down in the water.
Put 1 what?
1 lap thing in the water.
So what's that thing that you're putting in the water? What does that look like? People don't even know that.
It's a white square that's and it has
folding plastic with numbers on the flaps.
Yeah.
Say that.
Folding plastic with numbers on the flaps. And so you'd flip 1 over, and there would be 3 because it's by. So you're counting 25s.
Yeah.
And then
25 yards.
25 yards. Yes.
So 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and then you have to flip over the left side to give it a 1, and then start over again on the right side with 1, 3, which is actually 11, 13.
And then so he was doing 65 laps. Laps. And then so you'd on the last one it would be 63, and then on the back of on the last one you'd flip them both to be red, left and right to be red. So you'd stick that in the water to tell them that was their last lap. And then
So the whole thing is you're dipping this in the water because it's easy for the swimmer to lose count once you get over. I think they might have been doing it for the 500 too, right? So the 500, the 1,000, there might be an 800. I'm not sure if there's an 800 or not. Maybe not in the swim meet. And then the mile, which is 1,650. They dip these things you have somebody help you on the far side, and they dip this plastic thing in where you can see the number as you're doing a turn to see how many laps you've done and how many you got left. It's really cool. And then what did they do to let you know back on the diving block side that you only had one more entire lap left?
They'd ring a bell.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, wasn't it? Bang, 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 bang. And then what happened? Oh, we had a secret hand signal, Kai, remember? That you could tell me if I was winning or not.
Mm-hmm. So there was a little handle on the end of the counting.
Yeah.
What is it called?
Lap counter thing.
Lap counter.
Big plastic square.
And so you'd put a 1 down.
1 what?
Finger down.
If I was in first place.
If you were in first place while you were holding it, and 2 if you were in second place.
2 fingers down like a peace sign, upside down peace sign.
Yeah, you can't really do 3 because
you'd probably drop it.
Yeah, so
for the first half of the of this thing, and Kai's counting up to 66. Well, 65 in orange, and then or 63 and then or red, and then. But for about the first half, I could see Kai's finger sticking down. He had one finger sticking down on the handle, not holding the handle and pointing down, because he's dipping this thing in the water. And I could tell I was ahead. I was winning. And then somebody 2 lanes over, I was suspicious. She was pulling ahead of me. And I looked at Kai when he was dipping his hand in, and it was 2 fingers. So then I knew. It was so cool.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, God dang it. But then that goes back to where we do our hand signals when we do races together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like 1 finger up means water, 2 fingers means...
Bike?
I don't remember.
I don't.
Food?
What are we talking about?
What I was doing?
Oh, yeah! Yeah, that stuff. I remember what you're talking about.
Middle finger means leave me alone?
Yes, it does. That is true.
No, we never did that one. But as you get older, we'll start using that one.
Okay.
Right? And yeah, so thank you. I really enjoyed it. And I was hoping you weren't bored or something like that. And then it turns out you were soaking with water from me splashing as I did flip turns. And you had this big grin and you were saying about how awesome it was. Like it was exciting.
I should have brought a swimsuit though. So I would have been dry. I could have changed.
Oh.
But it was Victory water, so.
You're coated in Victory water? Is that sweat? Sweat is Victory water?
Yes.
Well, anyway, I'm super excited that you went and did that. And we all had on our Von Blanc Racing team shirts. And Mommy was there she took some good photos.
We need to make, if Von Blanc Racing should be part of it, you should make a shirt line called Von Blanc.
Von Blanc Racing, jerseys? It was really cool having that on.
Like a clothesline of Von Blanc.
Okay. Well, let's get started. You've been doing all this designing of tennis shoes and stuff on the computer. Maybe you should help me do that.
Okay.
All right. You heard it.
I'm like a pro at that.
Okay. Well, you could be. All you got to do is sell one and you're a professional. All right. That's it. Be back later. Out. Bang. All right, next we're going to talk about how to mountain bike race. So I put out there that Kai is going to be in he's joined the local mountain bike team. It's a combination of middle and high schoolers and starts at 6th grade. And he has his first race coming up. I've done a few mountain bike races and I know how they can get really tight and jammed right from the start and get a little wild and crazy, but this is his first, and we were talking about how to do your first race, and he's on a team, and they break it up by divisions and stuff like that. But I think he's in for a not a rude surprise, but a wild surprise at how tough it is actually to mountain bike race, because it's not mountain biking; it's a lot of like we're used to doing. Even though he's on a team and they're training, you got to get around other people, and other people got to get around you. And also the amount of dust and dirt and mud in the air that makes it difficult to see is enormous. And he's going to learn that real quick. But I thought I would put out there a call to see if anybody had any advice. And the first one comes from Stephen Hall. He sent in a note that says, depends on the race. The more competitive you are, and the more competitive the race, you pass when you get an opening. And that's true. You wait until you can get through, and then at the first second that you can get past somebody, you just go. And maybe you say something, but it's kind of like turn signals in bad traffic. If you notice, a lot of people don't use their turn signals until the last second because you don't want to give away. Turn signals are a sign of weakness. It's something I've learned in bigger cities where you got to get around people and fight your way through traffic to get where you want. Everybody's trying to cut each other off. In smaller towns like I live right here, away from rush hour, we can, turn signals. Everybody uses turn signals, very casual. You get yelled at and people hate you if you don't use your turn signal. You're like, come on. And so I get that 100% and told him that. And then Stephen said, if you're lower level like me, and that would be Stephen, you ask. So I guess can I get by? Yeah, that's what he said, and that works really well. So I think, it depends on the race and within the race, where you are within the race. If you're way off the back and you're not even close to the front, you don't have anything to worry about. People get really nice, and they're like, "Hey, man, can I get by?" Oh yeah, sure, and that's cool. Let's see. There's kids on this team that are nationally or state ranked, but get scholarships to big schools. So it's going to be really competitive. Aaron Leff said, don't crash. Crashing is a terrible time suck. And what he means is if you can avoid it, stay away from crashing, because if you fall down, you got to get back up on your bike. And by that time, 10 people have passed you. And you got to pass them back. If you're not the crap knocked out of you and stunned from wrecking. And the thing I pointed out to Kai about that is, you know how you're worried about cars when you're out riding your bike on the road? The thing that people don't think about mountain biking is trees. A tree is it's not like a moving car, but it's like a parked car. And you can easily break your collarbone or your neck or your skull if you plow into a tree by accident. Because you lose control and crash. And then the message from Jamie Patrick. Jamie Patrick is the guy that I swam across Lake Tahoe with. He was swimmer of the year, open water swimmer of the year. Dude is a badass. And he wrote, Kai, you are one lucky dude to have a dad and mom that get so fired up for your events. My first and only mountain bike race, I knocked over 8 riders on the first hill. Hold your line. That means stay on the trail where you're supposed to be. Don't get sloppy. Be strong when it hurts, and no matter what, you won just by doing it. Now go kick some butt. 3 exclamation points. And Kyle really liked reading that. He loves Jamie. And Jamie's daughter is Kai's age, and they're so cute when they play together. All right, we have that. I also want to take a moment to mention Salt Stick. Oh my gosh, I realized I'm running low on it, and I got to ask them for some more. I've also realized my website seems to be acting up, and I got to go get that checked out. It's getting crazy redirects or something like that. All the life of maintaining a website. That's why I use Squarespace. It's because it's super easy to manage. It lets me do triathlon, and it lets me do podcasting and my day job without too much fretting. So that's your unpaid advertisement for Squarespace. But I also need to mention Salt Stick because this stuff is so great. I want to add a little bit of salt, a lot of salt. And it's not salt, it's electrolytes. Electrolytes are what matter. And Salt Stick is the closest that you can find of a match to what you sweat out. You put back in it's like the exact same ratios of calcium and magnesium and sodium, of course, and all the other electrolytes that you need. And so you're putting back in exactly what you take out. And Salt Stick capsules, you can actually open them up and dissolve them into your water. I love doing that. Instead of taking a pill, it's a capsule. I can break them open and mix them with my water. So I can add salt to my own homemade fuel. I can add salt or electrolytes to my Gatorade or my maple syrup. Oh, I love using maple syrup. But maple syrup doesn't have any electrolytes in it. And so you got to add something. And I go to the salt stick. And that way I can use maple syrup as my fuel, which is just time and time again, like the best stuff. Maple syrup and a little bit of matcha, which is green tea, and salt stick. It is so cool. And they have chewables now. Oh man, the lemon, or it's the lime or citrus flavored, it is so good. And it's so easy to, you just break them apart in your mouth. And it actually makes getting your electrolytes in kind of fun. So this is how you can get 25% off Salt Stick stuff. They have that dispenser that you can just pop out however many capsules you need at a time. It's so cool. You can twist them out, kind of like a Pez dispenser, but like with a twist. But anyway, gotta get so distracted with the Salt Stick stuff. It's so good. You can get Salt Stick by going to saltstick.com and then /ZenTri. And it will ask you, so www.saltstick.com/ZenTri. And it'll go, oh, what's your password to get in here? Because you got to be cool to get in here. And you go, it's ZenTri. And then it goes, bam! There you are, bro. You got 25% off. Bam! Just like that. How about that? Isn't that cool? And don't forget that Salt Stick is actually sold around the world, all over the place. And you can, there's a store locator. You can find that. Shopsaltstick.com is another place you can go check out. You know, I don't want to keep you from getting your electrolytes. However you need to get them, go get them. And you can get 25% off. And then by getting the Salt Stick with the discount code ZenTri, but then you can turn around and help support the show because they let me know that you're getting it through them. Isn't that cool? And they listen to the show. So, hi Salt Stick, how you doing? Okay, let's get back to the program. All right, let's get to the cards and letters brought to us by Hornet Juice, which I'll get to in a minute, and your show donations. So if you support the show on the left side of the website, which I might have to go fix if it doesn't come back online, then which is zentriathlon.com, then you can find, oh my gosh, if it's broken, that means I got to fix a ton of stuff. On the left side of the website, you can find a link to donate to the show. One time, multiple times, whatever you need. Repeating donation. And if you donate, then your name pops up in my email. And now we're friends. And you can send me questions. And I also read your name out on the show. So let's start off with Favia. Katie Favia, how you doing? John Mulan. Jonathan Woodman, sent in a donation. TJ Sponberg sent in a donation with a question about how to keep pace in the pool. I think I answered that later on in the show. But basically on your watch, you set a timer, a repeating timer. You have to have a watch with a repeating timer, and you set your goal pace. So to do a 1 hour Ironman, for example, is a 1 minute and 25 seconds per 100 yards. And you try to get back to the wall right when it beeps and try to keep on swimming. You never stop, and you swim that for an hour. And a 125 per 100 pace, and you will finish your Ironman in an hour. And if you got the right kind of watch, it will beep. And now some watches vibrate. So my Suunto Ambit or my Suunto Spartan has a light vibrate, but a good beep and a good screen flash. And the I'm trying to think. The Garmin 920 has a good screen flash and a vibrate. Timex. The Timex Ironman brand, they're Ironman watches. They have a repeating timer in them, and with a really loud beep. And so is the Garmin, to the point where it actually annoys some people around you. You got to apologize sometimes, but you can't worry about what other people say, or else you never get anything done. But anyway, set your timer. You can divide that by half and do it by 50s. And it is so cool to be swimming along, and as you hit the wall and you do your flip turn and your feet hit that wall, just pop. It goes beep, 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 and you're like, I'm on time. And if your feet hit the wall, bop, beep, 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 then you're like, there's like a pause between the beep, beep, beep. Then you're like, oh, I'm ahead of schedule. And then if you're about to hit the wall and it goes beep, 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 and then your feet go pop, hit the wall, then you're like, crap, I'm falling behind. I better speed up. Or you might need to reset your expectations, which is always a possibility. But that's how you do it. And it works like a charm. I try to do every other workout like that. And every other workouts, I do speed work, and that speeds me up, and then I test it on the pacing workouts, and that's how it works. All right, thanks for your donation, TJ. And Hunchu, longtime listener and supporter. I got a note in here. People should listen and read The 48 Laws of Power. Is a good audiobook. I do not know how that got in here. Justice Phillips, he asked me to, oh man, it was heartbreaking, man. He asked me to, what do you call that? Pace him on the second half of the Rocky Raccoon 100, and I had to turn him down because my feet still hurt just the tiniest bit, and that would set me back to day one. It would wreck me bad. But I'm honored to even be asked, that people think that I would be fun and a good person to hang out with on the run, and that I could do it. Pacing is really hard as well, because you got to watch yourself and somebody else. Let's see. We have donations from James Godak, Peter Salzin, Matthew Heinz, Todd Nelson, Allison Frutus, Matthew Frois, M. Webb, and Spiros Fetsis, and Tyler Moyer. And then also finally a note from Andre. Let's read that and pop it up here. Hi, Brett. Thank you for one more year of excellent podcasts and triathlon coaching. Your podcast helped me pass the time on my frequent flights to Asia. Let's see. Hopefully you can get back and forth. What's going on with the immigrant ban, all that green card and flying back and forth? It's got everybody a little freaked out. Greetings from the 50-meter community indoor pool in northern Germany. Oh, God, you're killing me, dude. Smiley face, winky face. And, there is one of the best pools in the entire world right here in town, and it's just inconvenient and too expensive for me to go to. So I go to this other pool, which sucks in comparison, horribly sucks in comparison to that thing. It gets the job done, because swimming is swimming. Your body really can't tell the difference that much. But, oh my God, we have the Texas A&M University Olympic competitive 50 meters diving platform. It's indoors. It's state-of-the-art. Texas A&M is always in a big battle against UT, University of Texas, about who's got the better every team and who's got the better facilities. And they built their pool to outdo University of Texas pools. And if you notice, when you watch national and world and even Olympic stuff, the swimming, that University of Texas always has a big presence there. It's UT, Stanford, Florida. I'm trying to think of the other big swim teams. But anyway, like say those big powerhouse swim teams, there's a reason. It's the facilities. Swimmers go. I turned down a couple of schools that I thought about going to because their swimming facilities suck when I was going to college and thought I was going to be on a swim team. And it makes a big difference. It attracts the best swimmers. Well, A&M's is better than UT's at the time when they built it a few years back. It is freaking unbelievable, and I can't go swim in it, and it drives me crazy, because I'd have to pay for parking, one, and then I'd have to pay like triple the rate of a normal health club to go there because I am no longer a student. Students get, a normal rate, but you can go work out there, but you got to pay like triple. It's kind of like a disincentive, so you don't take up space from the space the students need. Anyway, there's all that. So you can support the show by clicking on the link on ZenTriathlon on the left by doing donations, or you can get Hornet Juice on the right-hand side. So go and check that out. Love the Hornet Juice. Okay, back to the regular stuff.
You are entering the ZenTri training log zone. Huneli.
Hi everybody, my name is Brett. I'm a triathlete.
I decided it's time I got some friends more suited to my status.
But Joe, we've been friends for years.
Hey, we all make mistakes. Come on, dudes, let's go exercise! Exercise! Yeah! I'm gonna do sit-ups till I poop myself!
All right, welcome to a new training log. ZenTri Mobile Studios, the Nissan Xterra, and it is lunchtime on a work day. Headed to his house. Gonna get some napple. Gonna get a snack and a nap. Just listening to the Joe Rogan podcast, interesting insight on something. They have a champion kickboxer on that had a really bad concussion, and he said that along with concussion comes depression, and with depression, depression ought to be something that is talked about with these fighters, and it made me think. They said they're sitting at home at night crying into their bed, but they're badasses, but they're depressed if they're injured from the concussion. Now, concussion's a special kind of thing, because that's in your head. That's a brain thing, injury. But also, it made me think that when, let's say you're a triathlete and you got plantar fasciitis, or you've got a broken arm, or you've got a knee injury, or you've got road rash or something like that, along with that comes depression, because you can't do what you want to do. So just real quick, we're going to get into high-fat diet in just a second, so just stay with me. But just real quick, ways to fight depression when you are injured are you are not the only one. Thousands, if not millions, of people are either injured with the exact same thing right this moment, or have been over the past 100 years or so. The hard part is thinking, not knowing what to do. The brain and the ego is lost and doesn't know a way out. So the first thing to do, one of the first things you can do that's really great, is go on YouTube and look for your injury and look for treatment. And then once you have treatment ideas, now you've got a path. You've got something to follow. The brain loves having a way out. And then start getting along with that. Build up a little YouTube series of YouTube videos, and then the interaction seems real to your brain, even though these people are on the internet. It seems real because you're seeing them and hearing them. And the next thing you know, you've got a community of people that are helping you. It doesn't matter if the video was made 5 years ago. You've got a community of people that are helping you get along your way and get healed. And people are tribal, because we're primates, so we're tribal, and we love it. We love it. It makes you feel a whole lot better. Okay. Interesting thing about eating high fat, low carb, things that seem to make it seem like it's working, and I'm not entirely sure it's working because I haven't been on it forever. And then it takes until you die from something for you to really know for sure forever, if you live to be 90. But the several times now, to the point of where the first time it was really odd, and then now it's like becoming a pattern. Come home from work, and I can work out and wait to eat, which is, wait to eat until like 6:30 or 7, and I'm fine. And I actually have energy for my workout, which is very different than before when I was doing high carb and lower fat, which had me, hungry all the time, can't go very long without eating. And now I'm still kind of hungry-ish, but I can hold off. And when I do a workout, I feel pretty good anyway. So it's happened many times now since I went really high fat. And that's really interesting. Emily and Kai had bacon and eggs this morning, and in the bacon pan was a whole bunch of leftover grease. And the whole thing, high fat, a lot of it is like Bulletproof Coffee, which is a brand name. It's just putting butter in your coffee, but real butter, not vegetable oil, margarine crap. But the funny thing is, and they're big on real fat, saturated fat from animals, and eating bacon, right? And not being afraid of eating bacon. All you have to do is just not be afraid of eating fat, and then you get a ton of fat calories, because fat has 9 calories per gram, which is more than double of the 4 calories per gram that's in carbs. So you just have to quit avoiding fat, and all of a sudden your fat content goes way up. And so I took the bacon grease. And bacon grease, I guess, a tablespoon has and also it's not really that much calories per tablespoon. It's like 100 calories in a tablespoon of fat. That goes for olive oil, goes for everything. I think something like that. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think I'm pretty right. But anyway, poured like a tablespoon, if that, of bacon grease into my coffee, and then stirred it with this frother thing, an Aero latte, Aero, A-E-R-O latte, which is a frother. It's a motorized little whisk thing. And Kai goes, Daddy, that is so gross. That there is no way that is healthy. And then Emily goes, yeah. And I pointed at them and I go, you two are eating bacon right now. It is in your hands. They both had bacon in their hands. Because you have no room to say that I shouldn't be eating bacon. Just put it in my coffee instead of on a plate and eating it on meat like you guys are. And they said, oh yeah, I guess you're right. Well, still, Daddy. And I'm like, all right, whatever. But that was kind of funny. And that's it. I got to go in and I've got kale salad all made up. So I'm going to go eat that right now. I also had some strawberries and cherries at work, which was pretty good. Okay, out, bang. All right, mic test 1 2 1 2. We are back. I thought I would cover just a little bit of what I ate for lunch because people are always fascinated with food that works. I had an Amy's brand TV dinner, which is usually really healthy stuff. It might have a little bit too much vegetable oil in it. Some of the vegetable oils are really bad for you. Canola oil, and that's bad for you. But anyway, but on it I put some, it had beans, cheese, a little bit of tortilla. I'm trying to remember the other stuff that was in it. Some kind of mixed veggies kind of in it. It's a Mexican food with cheese. Anyway, it's all organic stuff, I think is their claim to fame. But on it, I drizzled some avocado oil and I put on, what was it? I put on, a pat of butter, right? And mixed that in. Now it's all greasy. It's so greasy. Y'all remember Pauly Shore? Anyway, then I spooned on like 2 tablespoons of hemp protein powder, the full green stuff. And that added, because this meal had no meat or anything like that in it, so that added a bunch of protein and what else did it add? Fiber and chlorophyll, and that's the good stuff that keeps your poop chute running clean and keeps you healthy. And on that note, I'm going this afternoon to see if I have the gene. So many people in my family have died from colon cancer that I'm going to go get tested to see if I have the gene for the colons of the cancers. And cancer of the colons, and that's a blood test. And then on top of that, this afternoon, I am going to, right now I'm driving past a sidewalk to see if Kai can actually bike to mountain bike practice from school, after school. They have this other oddball location. I pulled in front of you, dude. They have this other oddball location that, actually, I think I just looked at it. Kai can actually bike there from school, but I think maybe I need to do it with him so he can do it from here on out. Do it once with him. Anyway, so I mixed all that up, and so now you're talking about a fatty Mexican food meal that's got all kinds of nutrition in it and lots of organic stuff mixed in. And on top of that, I sat down for a while and I go, man, I'm still actually really hungry because I biked an hour hard this morning and I'm going to run this evening. And I was like, man, I'm still hungry. So I made a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And some of you are going, oh my God, that's so full of carbs, dude. You cannot do that. And no. First off, I use Ezekiel bread or what's that other brand? It's not Ezekiel bread, it's another brand. I'll think of it in a minute. And it is so freaking full of fiber. I remember the Tri-Boomer had it for the first time, and he goes, well, you certainly have to, his mouth is full, you certainly have to chew on it for like an hour. Sure is a project. And it's got nuts and seeds all in the bread. It's sprouted grains. Harvest Horizon. Ends with an H. Anyway, it's got Bible scripture written all over the outside. Stuff, I call it Old Testament bread. And then So that is so not easy to burn carbs, because there's actually not that much carbs in it, and then there's also a ton of nuts and seeds in it. So actually the fat and fiber content for bread is actually really high. And then plus it's got peanut butter, which has got a lot of fat in it, and then just a little bit of jelly. And then for jelly, I use Laura Scudder peanut butter. That way it doesn't have hydrogenated crap in it. When I was a kid, my mom used to make peanut butter. You can get a peanut butter making machine. It puts peanuts in. You put peanuts in the top. It's like a coffee grinder kind of, and it grinds the peanuts down, and it makes the best peanut butter you've ever tasted in your life. And there's nothing in it except for peanuts. So buying Jiffy and all this other crap that has hydrogenated whatever in it, that's all a huge waste of your money and of your health. Don't get that stuff. Wait, hold on. I gotta pause for a second. But anyway, back to the peanut butter and the bread. A good saying is, if the carbs come from fiber, those carbs don't count if you're on just any kind of carb diet. But you want fiber. You want a lot of fiber. And I think for a snack this afternoon, I have a little bit of trail mix, healthy trail mix. Didn't have a bunch of chocolate in it or crap like that. And they'll probably have green tea with butter. Oh my God. I went to the dentist and he goes, "Your teeth look amazing. What have you been doing?" Did I say this already? And I said, "Well, one of the many things is green tea with a little bit of butter in it." And he goes, "Butter?" And I go, "Yeah." And I said, "I looked it up. Butter is actually really good for your teeth. It gets the vitamins and minerals spread throughout your body, and then it goes to your teeth, and it helps rebuild your teeth or keep your teeth strong." Fat-soluble vitamins can't get anywhere without fat. And then green tea has fluoride in it, naturally occurring, which is good for your teeth, protects your teeth. And I have those little mini servings of guacamole kind of laying around at my work in my little fridge, and I might snack on those. And that is today how I'm doing high fat diet. It's pretty interesting stuff. All right, got to go out, bang. All right, we are in the ZenTri mobile studios. Got something really cool to tell you about. How to swim faster and how to learn how to pace. So I just did an Ironman swim, 4,250 yards. I think it's 4,225 actually, but I did 4,250 in 1 hour flat, and I did it exactly on a 1:25 interval, a 1 minute 25 seconds per 100 yards interval. And you can do this too at whatever speeds, great for you. But every once in a while, when I coach swimmers, every once in a while, the swimmers I coach, I give them a long swim set to practice pacing. And then this, what I'm about to tell you, is super cool. You set a timer, an interval timer on your watch. So the cheapest watch that I know that has it is a Timex Ironman watch, but you got to find one. It's not the cheapest one. It's a step up from the cheapest one, and it's got a loud interval timer on it. And you can set it to whatever your goal pace is. And I set mine to a minute 23. A minute 26 actually, even though my target was a minute 26 and a minute 25 if I could do it. And then when you start swimming for an hour or whatever you're going to do, you do not try to beat your interval, because after a while it's going to catch up with you. If it's your target interval, that means it's going to be pretty hard after a while. So just stay on pace and learn what it feels like to do that pace. And what happens is it beeps every time you finish a 100, and I actually did mine on 43 seconds, so that's half of that. So every 50, it beeps and then resets itself when I hit the wall. And I stay on pace. If I start getting ahead, I tell myself, calm down, don't go faster than this, just stay at your pace. And then the coolest thing is you can mess with different techniques. You can dig a little deeper, You can dig a little shallower. You can lift your head up. You can put your head more down. You can do bilateral, single side. Push off the wall a little harder and try to go a little longer. Start your kick a little earlier. Kick more, kick less. Point your toes back more. Glide a little bit more, glide a little bit less. And you do it for 50 or 100 yards and see if it changes your time. See if you start catching up with your interval or start slowing down. And it's miraculous the way it fixes your stroke, and it helps you find what's faster in the pool for you is just incredible. And let's see, I found out there's a swim meet tomorrow, and I might join it because I might be able to win the mile. Might have to look at the time. It's pretty fast, but there's not many people in it. And that's the secret of long distance is not many people do it. And okay, so fueling for energy for going for an hour nonstop. Oh, when you go and do, let's say, an Ironman or half Ironman, if you do this kind of swim workout once a week or something like that, you do 2 of like interval sets and all this stuff, but then you once a week or once every couple weeks, you just do intervals on, like a 130 or whatever you're going to do for an hour without stopping, including your warm-up, everything. Then you get an idea of if your pace is realistic, and then you also learn that how to pace yourself so that when you're in the race, you don't overdo it. Because you will feel exactly the same as you do whenever you do the race. And actually, you go a little bit faster in the race too, because you'll have on probably a wetsuit and swim cap and the excitement, and you'll be tapered and nice and fresh. Okay, but anyway, let's talk about fueling. I'm going to mention 2 sponsors because I use them this morning, and I use them almost every morning. And one is on the way to the pool. Actually, before on the way to the pool, when I'm at my house, I drink a serving of UCAN. Hold on, I need to get something out of my pocket. I got something in my pocket. So UCAN, UCAN, is a super slow starch, and it's awesome for swimming because it's slow release, and in the swim of an Ironman, you cannot stop and drink water. Ultraman, same thing. I mean, you can stop, but the more you stop, the slower you're going to go. Swimming, it's not like running or biking. There is no coasting. If you stop working, you go 0 miles per hour, which is dumb. So you can do a slow release energy source, which is super starch carb. What they do is they heat treat starch, and then it makes it so it takes longer for it to break down in your stomach. So it's a very slow, quick release drip. And then the other upside of that is it doesn't cause an insulin spike, so it allows you, insulin turns off. If you have straight sugar, that turns off your body looking for body fat to burn. So UCAN is great because it goes, okay, I got a slow drip, like an IV drip of fluid, and I'm still able to access body fat, so I got plenty of like even energy, which is great for a long swim. And I just bought some more because I was running out. I had chocolate flavor and I had orange flavor, and I've only got a few more servings of orange flavor. And the stuff, I got to tell you, the stuff is a little bit expensive, but when you compare how much you actually use, you hardly use any of it. So it actually comes down to be the exact same price as other stuff. Okay, and I've got a discount code. Let's see, it is, you get 15% off if you use ZenTri as your discount code. When you get to checkout, ask for a discount code at the very end. And ZenTri, doesn't matter if it's all caps, all lowercase, doesn't matter. ZenTri, all one word, ZenTri, gets you 15% off. I bought 2 servings. Hold on just a second. I bought 2 servings, and when I applied the discount, it was just over the amount that gets you free shipping. Aha! So you can get 2 servings and free shipping with 15% off. 2 containers is what I mean. And this time I bought just the plain flavor because I found these little stevia pills that I can sweeten stuff with, which I really like. And then sometimes I like to mix it with my coffee. So there's that. So again, ZenTri, discount code 15% off. And I use it. I used it today, and that's an awesome result. I'm super stoked. And I've been using it for a while. And it's the stuff that got me off of using sugary sugar. Anyway, and I just went to the dentist, and he's like, your teeth are awesome. What have you been doing? And I said, I've been getting off the sugary sugar. So I drink that at my house, just a serving. And then on the way to the pool, I finish my cup of coffee. And in my cup of coffee, I put a pad of butter, like a half a tablespoon of butter, I guess. A pad, like 100 calories of butter. And I froth that and put it in, and I sip that on the way to work. And that adds the extra fluid to the UCAN, so it settles real nice. So then I've got nice, even energy all the way to the end of my swim, an hour. And then when I'm done, you need to reload on some carbs, and I've got Amrita bars right here. And I'm about to eat one. Oh. Some people love it that I eat on the show. Some people hate it, but let me tell you something. This isn't a podcast where we talk about the science of triathlon. On this podcast, we do triathlon, and we do long course triathlon, which is the most demanding time-wise and energy-wise. And let me tell you something. When you finish a nice workout and you reload on your carbs, you can reload on something that's nice, even energy, kind of like that you can, but it's got fruit and fiber. You're not going to be working out for a little while, and it's got seeds in it. It's got no nuts, so if you have a nut allergy, it's vegan and gluten-free and all that stuff. And it's an Amrita bar. Super mellow on the stomach. The main carb source is dates, which is fantastic. And, oh my God, it's so good. I'm eating one right now. I got pineapple chia, and I've got a discount code for that too. So it's 15% off with them with discount code ZEN2016, 2016. ZEN2016. And I know it's 2017. I'm going to email them and ask if it's been updated to 2017. Until then, just try 2016, Zen 2016, and get 15% off of them. So I've gone from eating Gatorade and maltodextrin powder and stuff before and during my workout, and then having teeth problems, little cavities, caries is what they call them. It's so annoying, the stupid name. And having a sugar addiction, switched over to using UCAN, and over, I don't know, a month or so, sometimes don't even use UCAN at all. And then after the workout, I have a date bar, so like an Amrita bar. Amrita, Amrita. Amrita bars, Amrita Nutrition, I think is the website. Anyway, you can Google it and find it. Hold on. And I'm now at work, W to the ERK, and that is how I've been doing a lot of my workouts lately. Pre-fuel with UCAN. You have to take it about half an hour before your workout. Power through an hour workout with it. Learn how to fat metabolize. And then after the workout, have a date bar like Amrita bars. And it works. It works so good. I'm so happy to find something that actually works. Long term, has longevity to it. You can do this forever. All right, I'm at W to the ERK. Gotta go out. Bing. Oh, so good. I gotta get you some. Get you some. All right, we are back. I just dropped off groceries at the house. We're doing the new thing for our local grocery store chain, HEB. Howard E. Butts, for real, B-U-T-T-S. The grocery store chain now does online ordering, where order all your stuff ahead of time, and then you pull up in a space, text them. They come out to the car, and they go, "What's your name?" And you go, "I'm me." And they say, "All right." Actually, in my case, I'm here for my wife. And they go, "All right, let's load up some groceries, dude." And it works. Oh, man. So they take all the groceries that you ordered whenever you order them and put them in your car. I'm not sure whether to tip or not yet. I don't have any cash on me, so this time I didn't tip. But I used to bag groceries when I was a high schooler, I think 8th, 9th grade, back in the 80s, late 80s. It's pretty cool. I used to walk all the groceries out for old ladies that wanted to tip you and give you like $5, usually like $1, or usually back then it was just some change. Their spare change from buying whatever they bought. Anyway, there's that, and it looks like it's a huge time saver. The downside is sometimes they don't have this stuff and they replace it with other stuff, and you can that's a variable that you can set if they should replace it or just not put it in there. But for example, they were out of these veggie tray things that Emily wanted, so they did fruit instead. And I told Emily, and now Emily's mad. And the bananas are green, and I hate green bananas, so that sucks. And I think there's little things we're going to have to learn along the way. But instead of spending forever in the grocery store looking for this stuff, they go ahead and find it all for you. And then your grocery list is reusable, and other people that you allow in can actually... let me get this thing straight on the microphone. There we go. Is that better? Other people can add to your grocery list. So I can say, oh, Emily, get this, and add to it, and add to it. I found out about this and was like, oh my gosh, this is the coolest thing ever. So I'm super stoked about that. Let's see. Use the salt stick. Feel awesome after taking some salt stick for additional electrolytes to get rehydrated after celebrating with some beer, some ale, Shiner Bock IPA. My second place swim, which was really cool. And gosh, I think I've drank 3 or 4 beers because I bought a 6-pack and I've been snacking on them. And salt stick made me feel so good that this morning when I went for a swim, I swam faster, even though it's only been 2 days since my race. It's been 48 hours. I swam faster than I have in a long time for my normal hour workout. 1:24 pace, so sub 1 hour Ironman pace. And head down, feet up, and just go. And going kind of firm with the pull. And in my case, what makes me go faster is to have a deep arm pull. Looks like I got to go around the gas station here. So test things out. See what you're faster at. There's a good article written by Gary Hall Sr. on Slow Twitch, and that's about keeping your head down. It's not worth it to be looking forward. And it's kind of a mixed bag, but I could definitely see his point. And that's it. Next podcast, I want to talk a little bit about micro-stressing yourself on purpose. So let's go ahead and do that then. Look forward to that. And I think that's it. All right, everybody stay safe out there. Work the uphills, cruise the downhills, and keep the rubber side down. Out.